welcome back to another of my YouTube videos. If you're new here, you're really welcome. My name's Laura, and this is part 5 of my series on how to answer medical school interview questions well. If you'd like any more information about the other questions, check the description down below to the links to all my other videos. This question is, what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? This is a question that I got asked at one of my medical school interviews, and it really threw me off as I really wasn't expecting it at all. A question like this is important that you stay composed even if you're panicking inside. Body language is really important when you're in your interviews, so keeping eye contact and remaining composed throughout is vital. Empathy and sympathy are two different things, and it is important to understand the difference between them. I found this question hard to answer as I knew the difference between them but wasn't really able to come up on the spot with different examples of times when I've witnessed or experienced empathy and sympathy. So do think about this in advance and have a rough idea of what you might want to say. So empathy is the ability to feel the pain or the experience something that someone else is going through as you have experienced it yourself. This means that you have a much deeper level of understanding of what they're going through and you can be empathetic towards them. Whereas sympathy is slightly different, as you can only really sympathize with the situation as you haven't experienced what they're going through and don't really have a true understanding of what they're feeling. To be a good doctor, you will have to experience a bit of both, and being empathetic is a very important quality that medical schools will look for in their students. Having examples of a time when you've been empathetic and how you have controlled a situation when someone is upset or going through something that is quite tough to deal with is a really good way of answering this question. You want to back up everything with evidence, so being able to compare situations and times that you've experienced both or with someone else is a really great way of answering this question. You can be empathetic towards someone that has experienced something that you've dealt with. So that might be some exam pressures or a time when they're injured themselves and you've done the same thing. They're very basic examples, but you kind of get the idea. Sympathy, on the other hand, is something that you don't really understand, but you can feel sort of their pain, or you can kind of try and console what they're going through. That might be because you've never actually experienced what they're dealing with, but that you have the ability to understand that it is something quite painful for them or something that is quite difficult to cope with. Therefore, when you're in an interview, it is important to bring in different times that you've experienced both and that you're able to be very mature about the situations. This question is poorly answered by a lot of students as they don't actually realize the serious difference between them. So do think about this before going into your interviews and also have a bit of an idea of what you might use as your examples. However, do not just learn off your answers and go into the interview, as interviewers really can tell straight away and they don't like it. They want to see you relaxed and able to talk to them. They also want to see that you've got pleasant body language and that you're not really nervous about being in front of them. At the end of the day, there will be lots of students coming through the doors of that interview and they want to be able to remember what you said as it was unique and also quite a profound effect on them. Define them clearly and don't just waffle and try and ramble and fill the time. Interviewers much prefer that you can concisely answer their question, and if you have to sit there for a couple of minutes at the end, they actually don't mind that at all. Maintain eye contact and say thank you at the end, and keep a good body language and composure throughout. These are all really important things to think about, and they can really impact your scores in each interview station. So I hope that's given you a better understanding between empathy and sympathy and what the sort of differences are so that you're aware of what to sort of talk about in your own interviews. Do go away and construct sort of things that you might want to talk about and have a fair idea of what you might want to say. These interview questions are important to get right, and if you would like to find out the other ones that I was asked at my interviews, check the description down below for more. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my new videos and content, and if you found this useful, please hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!